the teamwork and the knowledge, and they've got Robin. So I'm going to give them my guess.
Yeah, Robin, certainly. I think Robin as well, one of those players that has been playing for a very, very long time. Obviously, the Swedish player himself. And it is going to be, in the end, we're going to have Auglis, or I suppose Vexstar now, but there's still Auglis on the server. Going to be on our terrorist side, and Heinz UK on our CT side to start things off. So it's going to be Auglis. They're the ones that are going to be pushing forward and, you know, trying to set the pace for this game.
Yeah, and of course, going straight into the pistol, we're seeing Auglis set up outside of the A site here. They have got that smoke player as well. That's going to be Rattlesnake here, so nothing too strange there. And Heinz, aggression over towards Squeaky here. Two players pushing in deep. Cryptix is going to get caught out. Meanwhile, Robin, he finds that first kill off. Cryptix trades out two, though, and Robin, he's going to drop another, putting it back into a 3-on-3. But now we see the A side push come in. Robin's just going to execute another there from the site. Just push so deep into A. This is dangerous. And Rattlesnake, he's going to try and take advantage of it. Doesn't catch him out, though. And Robin, what is he doing? That's going to be 4 headshots. He's one off the ace here, and in this position you're going to want to get that frag movie highlight. You're going to want to go for the peak again, and we can just see Rom trying to take that challenge over towards Squeaky, stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, absolutely. Rom all on his lonely lonesome here. Does actually manage to find one over in there, and will get caught out in the end, just clotheslined by a bullet. Rom goes down, and Mole picks himself up. And Mole, actually a player we've not really touched on here. Mole actually going to be stepping in, I believe, for the first time this week as well. So that could be an interesting step in. Obviously, this is a team that has had Fry in the lineup in some iterations, but again, this is another one of those teams in the UK that has changed its lineup a fair few times over the course of the last few weeks. So we'll see how that's going to affect things, whether synergy comes into effect here, or whether it's just going to be kind of a lot of aim battles going on.
Yeah, and of course, with the Tech 9s and the Deagles, a lot of aim battles will come in this round. Auglis, they are going to be selling most of their players outside of B. We've got a bit of heavy mid control as well, and Heinz playing very passive, knowing they're up against pistols, not wanting to take these mid duels, and just holding off to Orte. We do have Robin, though, going for that initial peek down the highway, spots out the first, and will drop Cryptix as well, so that's going to be the nice first kill for the CT side, but Rattlesnake going to be able to trade that one out, so good damage here from the Auglis side. Grabs himself a rifle as well, and that's fully loaded, so he's going to be able to peek into main there, but Mole still takes him down in the meantime. And this is just going to be frags heavy in the way of Heinz, as the damage has been done to Auglis players below 20 HP, and they are going to file right into vents. But this is where the meat grinder comes in. Stanley, he's in the perfect position to strike.
Yeah, it certainly is. He's been flanked though by Ron, but he goes down, and they didn't push quite quick enough. That was the potential for a 3-kill coming through. Stanley doesn't quite get it though. Jenko steals that final one, but I think he's going to be quite happy with that result. 2-0 now for Heinz. They managed to take themselves a lead in this game, and they're going to be quite happy to stick on those SMGs as well. They don't really need to invest too heavily into this round. They know for a fact that Auglis is pretty damn broke.
Yeah, and building up the money as well using that UMP. $600 a kill. It's payday today, and Heinz, they are going to be taking these SMGs, as you said, into the next round. And Auglis going for their almost full eco, just a couple of PT-50s, but no utility, so we're not going to see anything too tactical, just trying to get close personal range battles as we can see them start to push deep into towards A main Squeaky control as well. And the kills are just going to be flying out for here for Heinz. Nothing too difficult. Of course, as long as they don't play too aggressive on this CT side and allow these pistols to get those one-shot headshot, which they're fully capable of. Talking about that, Stanley's just going to run right in. Doesn't check his corner, and that's what I talk about. Rattlesnake finds him. T-Sack trades him out. And there we go, Heinz losing one player. They take their third round of the board, and we go into Auglis' buy. So this is where the rifles come out. No AWP just yet, as they aren't able to get any bombs down early, but they still have the utility to work with, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we get into the juicy stuff. This is where we actually see what Auglis are made of. They've got some rifles to work with, but they're going to be up against the AWP in the hands of Jenko. And interestingly, Stanley sticking with his UMP. I didn't actually catch whether he had enough to go for a rifle anyway, but I would assume that he did at this stage in the game. Obviously, he got a couple of kills for himself earlier on with the SMG, so wouldn't be too surprised by that. But
yeah. UMP is actually quite interesting because we've seen a rise of it very recently, at least being brought into these CT buy rounds. Not so much on the T side, but on the CT side you can control the range that you take these fights. So you can see Stanley just playing to the effectiveness of the UMP, pushing up close and personal, and that's where it's most deadly because AK players are not going to be expecting that. And you know, it's a really decent gun for actually close range battles. It's probably the best SMG I think you could argue, especially for its price of only being $1,200. So he's going to take advantage of that. But meanwhile, Auglis, they aren't going to be heading most of their players towards him. We've got Cryptix over in Squeaky there, just trying to pick up some early damage onto Heinz. They've already found the first frag, so it's going decently for them, but in the meantime, Rattlesnake, he's down on 3 HP.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's potentially needs to go see a doctor because he is not feeling healthy right now. Pish going to get spotted out there by Mole. So Mole with a little bit of information. They know where a couple of these players are. They know that Squeaky is in trouble and maybe need to start rotating fairly soon, but they know as well there's no commitment just yet. Stanley is going to go down elsewhere on the map though, and now Pish trying to find his way onto this A site, just pushing forward slowly but surely. Mole's going to be waiting though, alongside T-Sac.
Yeah, but Mole with very low ammo, he's only going to be able to get off one kill with this most likely, but he peeks up, finds the first, that's going to be Cryptics dropping. He's still got this support over from the forklift area, and T-Sac is going to peek out, 2 kills for him. That's going to shut down this push, and he takes a third as well. T-Sac, phenomenal play, and there's one player left, and that is just going to be Rom, and he's all the way over towards the CT spawn. No time left for this bomb plant, and T-Sac, he realises this, he's just going to be saving his gun. 5 more seconds, and this round will go to Heinz. What phenomenal play there from T-Sac, just to hold down the A site, right when Heinz needed it the absolute most.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff from T-Sac there. The 3K, and as well, that wasn't just your standard 3K, that was 3 very quick headshots, just 1, 2, 3 taps, and he's managed to secure his team the round, and that is going to be 4 on the board now. Stanley again with the SMGs. I'm pretty sure he just bought that fresh as well.
Yeah, so the thing about this is it's perfect, because he knows August aren't going to buy around 1 rifle, so they're just going to stick with these full pistols, and this is where he knows that he can just rush, and he can just spray down these armorless players, although the mix-up in the August side is they've got 3 armoured players. Obviously, they're saving from the previous round, but they've actually brought up head armour on Fish as well as body armour on Robin. So this is where things may get a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see what Stanley's going to be able to do with that SMG. As you said, might not be as effective as he's hoping for, but there's actually only Mole hanging around at the A site. You've obviously got Robin going in from a distance. He's over, kind of watching his teammates back, making sure that he's not going to be in too much trouble. But Robin actually manages to find one through the door, but Cryptics trades it straight back. So here we go. 4 members of the terrorist side pushing towards this site now.
And this is going swimmingly for them. First 2 Ds got to be found. We will see a refrag coming up from T-Sac, and you shouldn't be taking those fights. Robin just peeks out towards Card, not favoured in that engagement, but his teammate will be able to trade things out. It's still going to be a 2v2, but the bomb's going down on the site, and this is going to force the CTs to push in. The pressure's on, but just as I say, it's already over. Nade comes in, T-Sac follows up, and Heinz are going to get that defuser. 5-0, great start for them, although August did get the bomb down, so they will have a bit of economical benefit.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think much needed at this point, economical benefit. And handy as well that it's going into round 6, because this would have been their rifle round anyway, so that bomb on top of that, it's kind of like an extra infusion of cash, so they're actually going to be able to get something going, and it does mean that they grab an AWP onto Pish as well. But I've got to say, you've got to commend Heinz there on their communication moving into that site. Both of them push at exactly the same time, take their aim battles at exactly the same time, and it just means that there's much less risk moving on in. They can cover each other's back and make sure that they can win out this fight. It's worst possible time to swap weapons.
Yeah, talking about risk, that was a huge one. Not paying off for Fish as well. That's the AWP already out of the hands of August, and no one going to retrieve it just yet as it's completely in the open. And Robin, just over towards mid, just going to headshot Rattlesnake like it's nothing. We do see an attempted trade here over towards Cryptics, but he's just going to get shot down in the face. And Robin, while he is in 15 HP, he's in a 5 versus 2. And August, they're just left in the dirt here. Nothing shown by them this round, and this has just gone absolutely terribly for them. They will be able to retreat the AWP on Robin Nasty if needed, but I don't think he'll be going for it. Just trying to push up towards the B main here. Oh, flash.
Oh, that is going to be the flash going down, and he's going to drop with it. Here comes Rom, though. Can't line him up, can't finish him off. Managed to grab Stanley for himself, but 1 kill when you lose the entire round is never going to quite be enough. They've stacked up that loss bonus at least, so silver linings, I suppose, but the only player they killed was Stanley, and he had $12,000 to play with, so I don't think he was too concerned, and now he's going to be the one grabbing that big green gun for himself and walking forwards with the AWP.
It's all those SMG buys allowing him to get so much money early on and just rebuying SMGs, so not having to spend 3k around on rifles when he falls, so really good economical management here from Heinz, and they're going to be benefiting quite greatly here. August, on the other half, they are going to be down on a pistol on Fish. He brought up at the AWP in the previous round, and the rest of them on rifles. So again, a Tech 9 not that bad. You can just rush into the A site, get yourself a quick entry, and grab yourself a gun, or even if your teammates fall, do the exact same thing. So it's not too bad here for the side. And now we will see maybe an attempted push come out. They've thrown the smokes, they've thrown the mollies, and they're just setting up with the flashbangs as well. And Heinz, they're going to just be holding fast here. Molt finds the first over from the MBK area. He picks up a second, but the trade comes out, and now Robin trying to reposition over towards the site, allowing his teammates to rotate in and stopping this bomb plant if it does come to it. Takes the next one, but Robin Nasty going to trade him out, and now it's looking good, just for a second, and Heinz, I mean, as soon as you see some positive light for August, they just get completely wiped out. And I mean, we predicted a 3-0, but I didn't think it'd be going this well.
Yeah, we didn't quite predict a 7-0 though. That's for sure right now. And Heinz, they're starting to run away from things. And I think you hit the nail on the head during that round where at the end there you say, as soon as you see a little beacon of light there for August, immediately the rest of the Heinz squad arrives and just like nails them. And then at that point it's like, how do you deal with Robin on these sites? Multiple times we're just seeing Robin flick between heads and just take people out. Mole's found one for himself as well here. And he's going to be right in the middle of the action. Bomb should be going down here though, but I don't know how long these players are going to be able to last on the August side. They're already getting incredibly low. That's going to be Mole winning himself out of fight. Pish and Rattlesnake, the last two. We've got to see Rattlesnake step up here. He's going to be the guy that's got to make this happen for this team. He's landing a couple of shots, but it's not quite enough.
And Mole, phenomenal work there on the retakes. Pushes him from quad, takes himself 2 kills, and doesn't even get killed by that UMP in close range, which is perfect for that exact situation. Having a fast firing rate, good armor penetration, and it's being in close range, favouring the lack of spray control that you need.
Yep.
And just completely going down instantly. And Heinz, again, another round on the board. Don't need to repeat myself. 8-0 here. August, once again, lost bonus plus the bomb money as well, but they're still not going for the AWP. They haven't got quite enough for that. So just 4 rifles and a good bit of utility as well to work with. But I don't think it's going to matter because Heinz are just right ready with their economy absolutely booming, ready to shut this one down once again.
Yeah, absolutely. Even going for the high explosives over towards Boost, just making sure anyone that peeks over, they're automatically at a disadvantage in the trade versus Robin. And Robin, you know, he's been more than willing to go for these aim battles in mid, but this time it's going to be Cryptic shutting him down, but immediately Rom just gets traded. So, again, struggling to find advantages here as these trades not really going quite the way August want them to.
No, but we will see the B split come in. We've got this B main player, and now we've got 2 pushing in from Vents. There's only one lone defender towards the site, and that's Stanley. Look at that spray through the wall, though. Jenko's just going to pick up one onto Robin, and now Fish and Cryptics, they have to come back from a deficit. Time is of the essence at this point, but Stanley just baiting out, allowing his teammates to rotate in. This is perfect from him, but his teammate will go down towards the lower area. Nice no-scope from Stanley just to stop Cryptics, and there we go. That's going to be both kills. Heinz, they take themselves a 9-0. And just to reiterate what you were saying a couple of rounds ago about the communication of Heinz being perfect, at least with retaking, not only that, but if you pay attention, you can notice that their trading game is absolutely on point. As soon as August find an entry frag, boom, it's traded straight away. Heinz just having great communication, great fluidity, and good teamwork all around.
Yeah, no, 9-0. That is not a scoreline that you see very often on your screens here, and they've no sign of stopping anytime soon. Robin finds one for himself and finds a second as well. Just pushing so aggressively. T-Sac going to chime in with one, and well, this round's just about already over. Rom and Rattlesnake, the last 2 remaining for the side of August, but I'm not sure that's going to be the case for much longer. He's actually going to be forced away. This may be an opportunity for Rom to get a bit of a flank, but Rattlesnake is completely blinded.
Yeah, even a chance for him to just run through the smoke. I mean, just they won't be expecting it at this point, but you can see one close-up player and one player back off towards A main to trade and also hold down the squeaky door. It's a nice setup from Heinz, and a re-smoke over in main. This is just to stop him from getting flanked. But he actually grabs himself a kill, picks up a rifle as well, and pushes straight through the smoke. But Mole's going to be expecting it there, and Rom just silenced by Mole. He flicks back round, gets that kill, and double digits has been found. And
I think that was a key example there of the difference in communication, right? If you've got that same level of communication that we've seen from Heinz already, you wouldn't have seen that kind of delay between the 2 players pushing in. They would have been at the same time. Mole wouldn't have actually been able to fight that 2v1. However, unfortunately, there was that little bit of delay. There was almost a bit of lag between the 2 players jumping into the fray, and it meant that Mole was able to just spin around and take the heads off his shoulders.
Yeah, instead of using, a third-party voice communication system, they got the cans and the string, and it's not helping. Fish Soap going to be kicking things off with a kill onto Stanley. Now, finally, a round going in the favour of August, and no trade coming out from Heinz, which is extremely important. They're going to be doubling down here. Rattlesnake finds one in towards middle, so dropping Robin as well. A key player here for the Heinz side. And now August are going to charge into B. And finally, I think this may be a round that may favour them as they start to push. Nice hold, though, from Jenko. Finds the first, trying to spray into the smoke, but just traded from Rattlesnake. 15 HP, and he finds the headshot. And now the retake's already on here for Heinz, but I think the round should be going very heavily in the favour of August.
Well, you say that. They've managed to consistently trade 1 for 1. It's all on Mole, but he finds one to start things off. He's going to be able to get a bit of a pop flash to try and find his opportunity, but the bomb is going to be planted. I think you're right in that saying August might be getting themselves back on the board here, unless we get something crazy coming out from Mole. He's trying to find this headshot, does finally get it. but it's too little too late and will go down.
Very risky peek though from Robin. No need to be like even checking in that position. You can just hold, allow your teammates to trade things out. He gets up close and personal, like Fish just did there with the AWP, but still. No need to be head glitching over the spot. He did get taken down, as you can see, but obviously Fish got to be more than ready to trade that one. And still, August, they take their first round, but it was very close there. Potential clutch from Mole, and just didn't quite go his way. But now we will see August in a really uncomfortable situation, because now if Heinz, they pick up this round, it's going to be the reset of the economy. August are going to be back down to $1,400 of the loss bonus, and they'll be screwed for the last couple of the half. So it's so important that August can double what they have here. They need to pick up their second round, and if they don't, they need to get a bomb plant to at least have some kind of economy.
They certainly need to find something, that is for sure here. And I mean, just look at this defensive positioning towards mid as well. They don't even dare go for those trades against Robin anymore. They've just kind of shied away from that entire strategy.
They're scared.
Every single time, Robin just takes heads and takes names as well. And interesting setup actually here coming out from Heinz, because they've got 3 people over towards mid, which generally speaking, they've kind of spread out across the map and just kind of let Robin do his own thing towards mid.
Yeah. Now, a very slow default here from August. The time's ticking down. They've got just under a minute left on the clock, so there's still plenty of time for a site take. But with no map control nor information, they don't know their setup behind, so this is the only issue. And kicking off, Stanley going to be dropping Rattlesnake. Now, Robin, again, aggressive position towards mid. If August try and split this one, which it looks like they may do, it could be very dangerous for them, but now Cryptix, he may just be leading this charge. Robin, as I said, takes down that mid player. That's going to be a nice flank kill, but Cryptix pushes back into the site, finds the first, almost sprays that second down through the smoke, but he doesn't realise the Mole's flanking his way all the way around the back of Forklift, gets taken down in the meantime, and Robin just going to be able to double down, takes 2 kills, both headshots, and his team planting the bomb at the same time. Going to be a good position here for August.
Well, it's 2 versus 3 now. And Heinz, they've got to try and get themselves back onto this site. But you're absolutely right, August, finally, maybe going to be able to get themselves 2 rounds in a row. This is going to be what they need, basically, to get back in the game. And that's a way to do it. 2 kills straight away. Cryptix and Robin Nasty making things happen. Now with 2 on the board, they've got a couple of AWPs as well. Just go straight double AWP here. Obviously, they picked them up last round. And let's see, I mean, there's still potential here for them to turn this into a 10-5 half. You know, yeah. It's not a great score. Let's not beat around the bush, but it's better than 10-2, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, and at least August starting to find their footing, but they got to keep it consistent. If you don't get at least 3 rounds on either half, no matter the map, no matter the side, you're pretty much screwed for the next. You need those 3 buffer rounds, so at least if you lose a pistol, you can have a bit of a fight coming up. But let's see how it turns out for them as well. We will just see, as you said, the double AWP on the T side. Bit of an interesting mix. That could work out for them, but it's not going to matter. They got the rifles instead. Rom going to be kicking things off with a kill onto Stanley. So it is going to be a 5v4, favouring August here once again. So potential for them to put their foot in the door and slam it shut on Heinz. They start to aggress on the mid control as well as on B.
Maybe it was just a matter of they needed 10 solid rounds to warm up here, but Jenko actually going to find 2 for himself over towards this B site. Fantastic start for him. He's on 15 HP. He's got to be very careful on this one and will end up going down in the end. Here come Robin and T-Sac outnumbered once again. T-Sac finds himself alone. He's still going to go for this one. He's got that open. Unfortunately, doesn't quite land that one. Didn't actually scope properly, I don't think, for that, and ends up skying the bullet. Pish actually got a 4K in that round. And that is going to be another one on the trot now for August. And they're actually starting to stack them consecutively as well. And when you look at the Heinz UK economy, this is the first round where they've actually not had cash. That's how much of a bank they've built up.
Yeah, it's good to see at least August not just going to go out of this without a fight. They are going to bring things back. And I think we can agree a 4-10 half is at least guaranteed at this point. Maybe even a 5-10 if they can just carry it on to the next round. Heinz's money will be okay in the upcoming round, but definitely not a full buy. They won't have any, auto snipers, no negatives coming in. But let's see how it works out for them. And okay, that's how you do it. I mean, we talked about Robin, and that's all you need to say. 1D comes out onto Fish. Now the push onto the A site, but Mole, he's going to be a star player as well. Finds himself 2. Oh, the third almost coming out, but Robin's going to be able to trade it. But it's still in a 2v2. However, massively favoured for the August side as the bomb goes down.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Stanley's found himself an AWP, so that, I mean, if there's any kind of equaliser in CSGO, the AWP has definitely got to be it. And let's see. I mean, aside from the Deagles earlier on in this round, I think it's fair to say. But there goes his teammate, and Robin Nasty will finish off Stanley as well. They're not having any of it on this one, and they're going to go for the double AWP once again. So now, final round of the half. We've got some sort of a buy coming out from behind as they've managed to cobble themselves something together. They've got a decent amount of utility, but a glass cannon AWP on Stanley. and, you know, missing some helmets and things. It's not ideal, but at least they've got some rifles.
Yeah, helmets hopefully not going to be too much an issue here, as August do have the full AKs.
Yeah.
But you know, you can see situations where Orbis pull out their Glocks or Tech 9s or whatever, so it could again get dangerous. But let's see how it turns out. As August, they put a lot of earlier pressure on towards B, and if they use these Molotovs right, it could force Stanley out into the open, allowing them to get that first pick. The flash comes in though, he has to reposition, but now they know exactly where he is, and that's what I talk about. They missed the molly though, not able to fully crowd him out there, and he's just going to sit in the smoke waiting and biding his time. As August, they realise, nah, I'm not coming up against North. They decide to back off it and head back towards middle to join their player Robin, or maybe even go for an A-take later on in the round.
Yeah, absolutely. Just heading over back to kind of that default setup that they know and love so much. Mole going to be hiding away over towards this A site, making sure that he's off in a corner that he cannot be spotted from. We did see Rom push into that site very, very late in the round, but just gets completely shut down, and now Rattlesnake pushing him here over towards the A site, trying to make things happen here, and we'll be able to get one onto Robin to start things off.
There we go, first couple of kills at least, but it's still going to be only just in the favour of Heinz, as they are very right and ready for this retake against Stanley. No armour, as you mentioned, so he is going to be in a bit of a bad situation, but it's not going to matter because his teammates will instead find the kills. T-Sack, he drops Fish, follows up as well, takes a second, and now it's all on Rattlesnake towards the back of the site. If you want any man to do it, it's him, but it's not going to happen. T-Sack finds 3, and Heinz, they will take that 11-4 half, so he said there was a chance of August picking up a 5-10, but again, 11-4, not that bad considering the absolutely dire start they had to that match.
Yeah, considering it was 10-0, I think 11-4 is like, well, I mean, it's the second best score you could hope for, right?
Exactly.
So I think they've kind of got away with that just a little bit, but Heinz, regardless of that mini comeback from August towards the end, are still hugely ahead of their opponents. Let's take a look at the scoreboard, in fact, I mean, it's not even, in terms of the kills and things, it's not even that different. It's just more of the Heinz UK players are doing well comparatively to it just being one specific player. It's not like one of the players on Heinz is just miles and miles ahead of everyone.
Yeah, and T-Sack, he needs to find himself an assist next round. That's what I want to see. He needs that 13-37 scoreline. But Mole actually getting 7 assists. I mean, assists are so unimportant, at least I talk about, but it's interesting to see someone has 7 assists in 15 rounds. It's quite a lot.
And also the guy that is currently top fragging as well,
yeah.
16 on the kill. So I think Mole has actually been a crucial player so far. Multiple times we've seen him be absolutely massive in these rounds, but I think as well, it's fair to say that Robin has done his fair share over towards the A site. We saw him multiple times just flicking around, making sure to get those headshots.
But Heinz actually remaining in this pause for a little bit longer, maybe bringing up a pistol idea or something. It's quite interesting to see. When you have an 11-4 half, you typically don't see pauses called out by the leading team when you have such a stomp. And I guess, you know, momentum is a huge part of CS as well, and confidence, and they have that momentum clearly with the scoreline and the confidence as well, so they should just be able to work off that and just go for probably just a rush, honestly. I feel like in this situation, just push that on towards A. You've got those smokes from Robin, he'll be able to cut off the car as well and use the flashes to allow his team to push in, and that'll be it. Should be around for them, but let's see how it turns out. Second pistol round here at the map. Heinz, they are going to be, as I said, setting up towards A, but this isn't going to be any A main control. They've taken full advantage of the empty squeaky that August have left, and a bit of a retake here scenario from the August side. They are very back off the site. Stanley, they're going to be pushing in to find the first. Gets that kill as well. Receives a bit of damage, but he's going to be able to get the bomb down in the meantime. And now 5v4, a retake scenario for August.
Yeah, and he should not have been able to get away with that. Stanley just about pulls it out, and here we go. Robin gets one. Headshot through the back of the chair right there, and he's looking for more as well. 2. Living up to his opponent, Robin's name right there, and making things happen for his team. And here come the CTs in force. 4v3 now, as we see CT players just kind of hiding out here. Mole will get shut down all alone. Nobody on his team there to support him for a little while, and they just need to keep popping out and trying to deny this defuse. He's trying to get a headshot, but doesn't quite happen in the end. That was a close one, actually, to finding that headshot, but I think the defuse does come through in the end. And August desperately needed to win that pistol.
The body blocking though, that was next level. Just standing in front of their teammate. No need to do anything really. Just wasting his time. But a really weird setup from August. I didn't like what they had to show at the beginning of that round. They were clearly playing for retake on A, but the only issue is they didn't have a kit for the retake. They didn't have any car control, and they had just one solo player deep site. The issue with that is you lose that player and there's no trade. There's no trade. All your players are outside the site. So the typical setup should be one player towards the back of car. He takes the kit, and you have a heavy mid presence as well as a B presence, 2 players mid, 2 players B, and so you can have a really fast rotate towards A for that retake. But with Fish just sitting in the middle of the site, I don't really know what they're trying to accomplish with that. But either way, it's going to work out for them, so no real issues with that. And suddenly this round clearly going the opposite way. Mole has found himself a Deeg. It's also been a Deeg early on as well, onto Cryptics, and now we see a 5v3.
Yeah, we certainly do, and it's scary when Heinz are the ones that are pushing forwards on this T side, because it's very difficult to regain control of the game once Heinz take it away from you, but it's going to be evened up once again. These Deagles very, very valuable to the side of Heinz right now, and they are looking to air towards that B site, which we've only got Rattlesnake here, he's got a FAMAS. That is enough to take out these players, but with a couple of Deagles in the hands of T-Sack and Mole, they are very capable of landing those headshots.
Yeah, the only issue for them is going to be the aim punch likely to come in here, and here we go. Charge comes in. Rattlesnake, he has to defend this one. He's got the flank coming out. Two-way pincer here coming out from the T's, but a bit preemptive there with a push from Yengo. We will see Rattlesnake find that first, and T-Sack just trying to trade it out, but Rattlesnake just biding his time, allowing his team to rotate to secure this final kill. And T-Sack, he's just going to be playing ring around the rosy. Finally lands a shot, and the bomb plant. This is all he needs from this round. He just wants some money injection into the next so they can get utility, and Robin just going to finish it off. But still, ring a rosy. Nice way of at least playing that site from Rattlesnake, because if he's taking those fights and he goes down early on, that's going to be terrible, because that's going to allow Heinz to get site control, grab himself a couple of rifles as well to work with, and hold it down. But if he just baits out the round and allows his teammates to rotate in, it's going to be perfect. You can see it works out massively for them. But Heinz still, they've got 2 bomb plants now on the pistol and on the second round, and they will be going for that full buy. They haven't got the AWP despite having the money for it, and they're just going to be going for the rifles with lots of nades.
Yeah, and I think when you're a team like Heinz, there's no issue with going for that. There isn't a player on this lineup that I instinctively just think this is an AWP player and nothing else. So they're more than happy to just go with the 5 rifles and just play super aggressive play to try and find those aim battles against the M4s of their opponents. They're all going to have helmets, so assuming that they can land their shots, they should win those aim battles.
Yeah, but let's see how it works out for them in paper. We will see them aggressing up into A main early on, so Heinz taking a bit of early control. It just seems like a typical A setup here. No real presence anywhere else. They've got one rotator who's just going to be holding the flank over towards B, and no mid presence either. So just fully up A main and Squeaky. Stanley's going to be the man in Squeaky, but we have got a bit of presence from August as well. They've got 2 players deep in the site. Same setup they used on pistol round. Interesting lack of mid control and heavy B control here, but they are going to have 2 players this time, and Fish, he's just going to be peeking right in, but there the first fight comes out. Robin lands that headshot as well, and now they can just converge straight out on towards A. Robin, he has to refrag, and he has to go further and beyond that first kill as well, as they start to mount their push over towards the site. Still not going to be fully committed though, and Yenko, he's going to find his first. That's going to be it, but Trey comes out from Rattlesnake, and now it's going to be a 4v3, but Bomb still not down here.
No, it's not, but that is going to be Stanley going down, bomb or not. 3 versus 3 now as Robin tries to enter the site. T-Sack is on his own, though, and needs some help from his teammates. 7 HP remaining. Robin goes down. Mole trying to find his way onto this site, but he's all alone now. 1 versus 3. Cannot find the shots, and will go down. Orgless, they're actually starting to close this score gap, and Heinz, I think, need to start to take a step back and look at this game right now.
That round was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. They find that pick onto the A site. There's one more player to control as well. So what you need to do is you just need to, barrage him with players. You need to push straight in. But instead, they seem to all just wait and aim in. Like, yeah, dude, get the bomb down, and we'll just wait here for the afterplant. And not allowing him to get that second kill. T-Sack trying to move towards the site with the bomb, and then just gets taken down by the overwhelming players on the CT side. So not too sure what that setup was from Heinz, but either way, it's not going to work out for them. August are going to be on that fight once again, and Heinz, they are a little bit down, a little bit strapped for cash. They're going to be going for some pistols here and a bit of utility as well. But these Tech 9s charging to A are very, very dangerous.
Yeah, they certainly are. It's going to be down to Pish here alongside Rom to try and stop this kind of running thunder that will be coming out from this pistol push. Certainly not a fun situation to have to deal with, but they've rotated a couple more players over as well. Robin Nasty arrives on the scene, and he's going to be looking to try and shut down these players, and he will be able to do so. Finds a few headshots for himself. Pashilla chimes in with 2 of his own, and that is how you shut down an unarmored push, ladies and gentlemen. Orgless take an 8th round for themselves, and they're starting to really make... they're really starting to give Heinz a run for their money.
Definitely, only 3 rounds off equalising it, and if you take into account ecos, it's pretty much only 2 rounds, so very, very close here. Mol's going to be strapped on a deagle, and we do have the rifles across the rest of the players, but still no AWP on either side. Almost not choosing to buy it, despite having the money for it as well. So interesting decision, and I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Stick with the rifles if it's working, I mean, but Heinz, they are going to be going for once again mid-control. One player already tagged up here, and Stanley's going to be holding from the barrels there, finds that first as Robin gets a little too big for his boots, pushes straight down, and the trade from Rattlesnake over towards the back of the sandbags there will get caught out eventually, but it's going to be a 3v3 as the trade comes out on towards B from Rom.
It certainly does. 3 terrorists remaining. And typically, I like to think that terrorists kind of have an advantage here, because if they push as a 3, they can find those kind of isolated fights, and they can find themselves in 3v1s and 3v2s despite the amount of CTs on the map. But certainly, if the lineup of August can play this correctly, can buy time for the rotations, then it's certainly still a doable feat here.
Yeah, and Cryptix is going to be stuck over towards Checker's area, but they don't check it first. He turns around, picks up that first kill. Trade comes out, but still August, they've got this fast rotation on. There's already a player in CT. That's going to be Rom. Pish as well, rotating back in as the bomb goes down. They should be committed to this. There's no reason to save in a 2v2. They've got a kit as well, and they've got one flashbang. Not going to be of too much use here for the CT side, but still. Utility going to be thoroughly used up here from both sides, and now we will see the initial push come back in towards the B site from the CTs trying to recapture it, and Mole is going to be right and ready in position, finds that first as well, crossfire setup, and Stanley's going to be able to tag down Pish, pushing him back out of the site, but he repeaks, crossing his way towards the trench, and there's the headshot. Stanley gets it, and Heinz are going to be able to pick themselves up at 12.
Yeah, so Heinz, they find that round that they were starting to desperately need at this point. They start to maintain that lead a little bit better. The rebuy will be available, though, for August. They still had some spare cash to work with. It's not an ideal buy, but it'll do. They've certainly got enough grenades to make things happen. And Heinz, to be honest, like, these two buys are fairly similar. If you look at the actual value, generally speaking, though, if it's an even buy, it's usually favoured to the terrorists, just because, you know, they've got those cheaper weapons.
Yeah, that's the thing, but CT's a little lackluster on utility as well here. 3 players not even buying up full nades, so, well, I guess 4, but Robin's got 3 out of 4, and he has got himself a kit as well to work with, but again, no AWP. Already early damage going to be found. Rom just sprays in through that door. That's going to tag Mole down to 20 HP. The entry, at least, a lot of the time for Heinz, so a bit dangerous situation for them, but they are still going to be setting up. And I like this squeaky control they have. They're just biding their time there and waiting. And look at this over towards middle. Stanley may catch up this one Vents player. They don't fully know that he's there, and he's just going to be waiting for the right time to peek. Flash comes in from his teammate, and now he gets ready. Rattlesnake, he has so much potential to do a good amount of damage, and he will start doing it. Finds that first, sneaks back in towards B, but he isn't going to drop, so they're going to fully know that he's still over towards the vent. Oh, I like this. The door. The door's getting open from the other side. And now Pish, he's going to know. He could be ready to drop right down on the mid. Instead, they're going to push right in. He just sprays down 2, and that's going to be the hold over towards 8. Follows up with a 3rd, and Pish, what a round from him, keeping it alive for August, 12-9.
Yeah, really, really nice play from Pish at the end there. He realises that it's going to be through Squeaky. That's where they're going to be coming, and sets himself up nicely. Waits for a couple of players as well. Doesn't just go for that first headshot immediately. Makes sure that he's got at least a couple of kills lined up, and then even wins out the aim battle to finish things off. And Heinz, while they're still ahead on this one, they're starting to lose their lead, and August are doing a good job on this defense. Cryptic's going to start things off. This Rattlesnake tries to find himself another one, but it's going to be a fast push towards B here. Cryptix is all alone in this corridor and will get shut down by Robin in the end, but there's only 3 Ts remaining. Rattlesnake on 2 HP. That grenade should finish him off, but actually does finally land onto its target. T-Sack going to look for Robin. Nasty down to 50, and he can't quite finish off the kill. Ends up getting shut down. The bullets don't quite find their targets, and it's another round for August. I kind of like that push, though, out of Heinz anyway, just because they're like, you know what? We've got these pistols. Like, going for a default isn't going to achieve as much here. We can't win the long-range aim battles. Let's just take it to it.
Yeah, but that's the issue, because if you have a look at the scoreboard, like we were checking a second ago, you can see in the previous round they actually got reset. Their economy pushed back down to the $1,400 loss bonus after winning that round. So that's why they had to go for the pistols, and that's why they're going to be ecoing the next round before their $2,400 bonus comes in. So next round they'll have about $4,400 each, not including kills or bomb farm. So a little more money to work with, but the double eco, or I guess force buy in the previous round that didn't go well for them, is going to mean August can at least cement their place with a 12-11 scoreline pretty much guaranteed here, just gifted to them on a silver platter. So this is where things start to get dangerous. After 11-4 half, Heinz have only managed to get themselves 1 round on this T side.
Yeah, it's a little bit disappointed from them, to be quite honest. And well, Extermination is the word on everyone's lips, I think, on that one, as the grenades had already taken the Heinz players down to minimal HP, and then August, they set up in all directions and just slowly but surely wipe out every player as they try and leave that spot. But Heinz now just a singular round up. They've got some rifles, though, to work with, but minimal utility here. Just a smoke in the hands of Robin. And when you look at the other side, August, they're sitting pretty right now. They've got plenty of utility. Everybody's fully kitted out on this one. And they've even got enough money to rebuy after.
Yeah, plenty of reserves here behind. Again, I mean, they keep going for this mid-control, but maybe this time it will work out. Stanley actually catches out that first play, but there's still a close mid guy to watch out for. They still check it, but Robin is going to be able to find himself a frag. Retrade, though, comes out from Robin. So now it's going to be back into a 4v3, just favouring Heinz, and the hold for the aggression here from Swedish Star, as we do see Rom get a bit aggressive, but meanwhile Cryptix drops that player over in middle, and now we will see a 3v3 push out towards the B side, but Pish, he's more than ready to take this fight. Molotov comes in, he's just going to reposition, gets back up on top of the box and grabs himself a second, goes for the third, but he's going to get traded before he can, and Yenko going to drop him now into a 1v2, but he's going to sneak his way into CT spawn, and he's going to be able to catch out this player who's going to be completely unaware of his position. Surely, there we go, that's the tap out, finds Cryptix, and now he knows his last player is most likely coming from B, so he's going to at least fake the push over towards A, but he's not fully committed to the rotation now. Meanwhile, Ron pushes in towards B, he knows, and he's going to be chasing this one down, but Yenko, he's already on the other side of the map over towards middle. Oh my god, is this a double fake? Is he going back towards B? No, he's choosing A, that's a safe option. But he's still got a full set of utility here, so this is going to be perfect for holding this one down.
Yeah, but speaking of, you've got Rom with a fair few grenades of his own. Like, he's not going to be strapped when it comes to that utility as well. This is going to be an interesting little 1v1, and I think it might just come down to headshots as Rom is looking the right direction, but it's not going to be enough because Jenko has managed to take him down. Mr. Worldwide himself.
Really dangerous play, though, because obviously the loss bonus not currently favouring Heinz. If he went down there without that kill and didn't get the bomb down, that would have been an eco coming up from Heinz. And you can see, obviously, they only just got enough to buy because they lost 4 out of 5 of their players. And so the default thing you should do in that situation is just straight up get that bomb plant and take the 1v1. Because if you take the aim battle, it's really dangerous. Because, if you go down, you've got no money. So really risky, but again, it pays off. So let's not critique it too much here. If it is stupid and it works, it isn't stupid. And Heinz, they are going to be a little more strapped in this one. They don't have any utility on 2 of the players.
No, they certainly don't. Pish with the AWP, but he's over at the wrong side of the map right now, as it looks like mid-control going to be the shout once again from Heinz. And I think that's a very common factor within Heinz. You know, you see them just trying to battle for this mid-control from both CT and T side when it comes to cash. They love to try and play from the middle of the map. And, you know, if you can control mid, then it just opens up so many options going into the rest of the round. And here we go. Robin Nasty going to be on point here, as I think Robin might be about to try and check his aim.
Oh, he doesn't even spot that player on top of the boost, though. Somehow not seeing him despite picking him twice there. Finally gets dinked down to 4 HP just through the edge of the box there. The AK not being able to fully finish him off. So the pick technically hasn't even been found here from Heinz, but he's going to be severely weakened in now. Heinz, they set their bomb outside of the B main. They've got another player over in Toxic, and we're going to see this vent split as well. They're pushing towards B, but Cryptic's position is perfect for this one. They're not going to check it because he's so close to the ramp. He finds that first as well, but now they know where he is. He sprays down 2, 3, and he goes for the 4th, but Rattlesnake instead going to do the damage, and he finds himself some as well. August, they are going to be taking themselves 12 on the board now, and again, Heinz are going to be reset.
Yep, so now Heinz, despite the absolutely phenomenal start to this game, they had, let's just kind of take ourselves back a second, they had 10 rounds to 0.
Yeah, and ended up on 11-4, but we were like, okay, you know, it's good enough. You don't need anything more than that, really, on the CT side. And now,
to be honest, we were thinking that's simply not good enough for the likes of August, but it's not made enough of a difference right now. And August, I mean, I jokingly said in the first half, maybe they just needed 10 rounds to warm up, but I'm starting to think it wasn't a joke right now. Look at Rom slicing through these players, gets 2 headshots for himself, gets an opportunity to reload, and Robin Nasty is going to be able to cover him from the shadows here. He's got that UMP in hand, and he's looking for the headshot. Stanley does shut him down in the end, though, and he's going to push forward, trying to find Rom, and will be able to do so. Only 2 terrorist players remaining, though. They've got a Deagle and a Tech 9, but they're about to be flanked here by Cryptix with that M4. And here we go. It looks like Stanley should go down here as well, and Cryptix will be able to finish off the round. That is 13-13 now. Vexstar, sorry, have managed to even things up, and still with a huge economic advantage.
I mean, yeah, we've been saying August the whole game. It's actually Vexstar now.
It's hard not to when it says on the screen.
Yeah, it's hard. When people have fake nicks as well, and you know during the hype moment, it's really hard to remember their real nick, and you just call them their fake nick. Like, oh, Mr. Barry Manilow.
Disco Man 208.
Yeah, exactly. Great example there. But the eco from Heinz, and now Vexstar may be taking the round advantage here, and they're going to be doing it in style. Already the push on towards A, just getting flattened here. Absolute steamroll play from the first two players from the August side, and the Orb's going to follow up as well. Fisher, he does drop one, but gets traded eventually by the P250 up in the close range, and an Orb has now been grabbed on Yenko, so it's not fully over here for Heinz, as he manages to take himself another kill. Rattlesnake goes down, and now a retake is going to be on, and it's going well.
It certainly is. It's going to be all on Yenko here. But this guy can do crazy things. Tries to go for the jump shot. I mean,
ballsy.
Yeah, it wasn't the safest play, but props to him. Like, if he'd landed that, that would have been a way to come back into this game in style. Unfortunately, though, going for that kind of risky play does mean that he loses out on his ult now.
It is CSGO though, so there's like a good 50% chance he's going to hit that in most scenarios. Actually, I say that they updated the jumping now, so the accuracy is a little more limited. But
yeah, it's based on velocity rather than
still
whatever it was.
Still accurate, basically. It's like standing still, to be honest. But CSGO, the game of RNG, and I mean, this isn't random. August winning this one back with some massive damage already. First kill going to be going in their favour again, and this mid control for Stanley could be good to trade this one out, or a late refrag as Rattlesnake. He's playing very aggressively here, but watching the wrong angle, flicks back towards him, but Rattlesnake, he's going to get the drop on him. Now it's a 5v3, and Heinz, well, they may be able to trade things out. They have to double down if they want to take the man advantage, but no, Cryptic's going to be able to drop another, and now it's a 2v4, and this is looking like August may just cement themselves for the 15th round.
Pish has arrived on the scene with his AWP as well. It's going to be Yenko finding one. Because Pish can't actually find his way onto the site here. He's lost in the smoke and gets shut down for it. Oh, God. What a way to go down. Here we go. The retake. 2 versus 2. Rob pushes onto the site. No fear in his eyes and will be able to find one for himself. Now T-Sac all alone in the world. He's got to find these headshots. He's got to be crisp in this round because he's in a 2 versus 1. And he's managed to find himself one of the kills. Now all he's got to do is finish this round off, making sure that it's not currently being diffused. Gets the reload. Doesn't get caught by the flash there. Here's them tapping away. That frag might just be able to secure him the round. The damage is there, and T-Sac wins out the 1v1. They've evened things up again. Heinz, they're not going down without a fight. This may well end up going to overtime at this rate.
And T-Sac just destroying Vexstar there, spraying his goo all over that face, that goo being ketchup, of course. And now the pause is going to be called out, and this is a good decision. You want to at least manage your economy, you want to be able to call out a game plan, because this is getting tense. One more round securing match point, and another further round to either take overtime or the first map in this best of 5. I mean, we went into this one at least talking about maybe a 3-0 for Heinz. You know, they really are dominant, but I mean, right now, this is nothing like we expected. We said maybe they could take a map, but 14-14 on the first map of Cash, this is going very well. We may see a long couple of games tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I was about to sort of bring up the topic of the fact that this is a team that used to have Fry, right? The Heinz roster, we've seen Fry play with them, and each time we've seen Fry, he has been near the top of the scoreboard. But to be honest, the guy replacing him is Mole, and Mole is there, 20 for 20. He's doing a fantastic job, second for his team right now, and he's feeling comfortable in this lineup, I think it's safe to say. And right now, it's going to be Yenko, who previously, he's been one of the standout players, so we need to see him really step up in this one. But here we go, game underway once again. It's just going to be the default setup for both of these two teams once more.
Yep, and a pistol is going to be down on the August side. We do have full rifles on the other team, though, and maybe a potential pushing through the A main as Flash comes in, but Fish not going to commit to it here, just waiting and biding his time as Stanley gets aggressive up towards main himself, and this is just a slow round from Heinz. You can see the switch up in pace now, at least in what they're doing early round. Usually just going for those first initial picks down mid when they had all the rounds, all that buffer to play with, but now things are getting close to the wire. They are taking things very, very slowly here, and now finally going for a bit of mid aggression as they boost that first player up, but the timing going to get the better of them. You see Rob and Nasty just back off towards the car, and that is going to allow them to at least take some early mid control, which is great in terms of splitting up on towards the site. The only issue is they know August are going to have a triple stack somewhere, and they just can't guess exactly where.
Yep, and that is going to be basically the story of the rest of this round, figuring out where that triple stack is, figuring out what they can do. But we've got Cryptics and Rattlesnake here towards the B site, and they've got all of it to play for because there are 5 terrorists pushing towards him. Rattlesnake with a great position, though. Might be able to find something in the smoke here, but he's completely blind. He's still just hiding here. Finally pops out. Will be able to connect a couple of shots, but can't actually finish these players off. It's Robin and Mole and Jenko here on the site. Jenko finds one for himself. Mole here on 4 HP needs to recover that bomb. There are 2 CTs remaining, but they're not quite on the site just yet.
Bomb going down though with just 4 HP left on Mole. It's a real deficit, and now we see August are going to come in for the retake. The pistol and the rifle player. He's trying to grab himself an AK-47, but he's not going to be able to have the angle to find one. These 2 Ts, both after plants on the site, which is dangerous, but there's going to be no utility to flush them out here from the August side. So at least being a fair fight, and Fish, he's going to take that first one. Now it's all on to Jenko. He does find that first headshot, but has to position himself right. But oh, he's going to get taken down. Pish finds that second, and that's going to be a phenomenal retake there from the Vexstar player. August taking it 15-14, and how close can you get?
I know, incredibly close around there, and I think for the scoreline, for how much this match means as well, let's remember, this is the first game in a best-of-5 to secure their spot at Comic-Con. This is no mean feat, and August proving that this means a lot to them. They've had, what is it, 13 rounds in this half? No, they got 4 in the first half, so 11 rounds for themselves in this first half. They've basically matched Heinz.
And now look at the money from Heinz. It's far less than favourable. Well, not the money, but what they've invested at least into this round. They've got an AK and they've got 4 pistols. This is not good. But they're just going to be rushing on to B. If it doesn't work out this time, I don't know what to say, because they've just repeatedly bashed at B and never been able to really pick up many successful rounds here on this T side. But finally, they are going to be taking control of the site. Bomb going down as well, and a 5v3 after plant situation. We may just be seeing overtime on the first map, and what a feat that would be, August. They have to come in with some massive, massive frags. But Mole, I mean, what can you say? He's coming for the flank. He goes for the first. They know where he is now, but that's going to be 2, and that's going to be the overtime secured here for Heinz, bringing it back from a deficit and taking themselves to the first overtime, 15-15.
Yeah, and I mean, you mentioned how Heinz, they basically just said, let's just go B until it works. If it don't work, don't fix it, I think is their motto right now, because they're just like, you know what?
Clearly.
You can stop us at B a few times, but if we just keep going for it. But, and I think as well, one of the things about repeating a strategy like that is you kind of play into your opponent's head, because they just think to themselves, they can't go B again. It's not going to be the same thing again. There's no way. And they kind of try and almost out-mind game themselves. Yeah,
really a lack of A control from Heinz on that T side. I like to see the A splits up mid, but not once did they push some highway controls as well as some A main control and just go for a very simple default A take, which I think may have yielded them a little more success. But then saying that, Vexstar stacked 3 players on A so many times there, it could have been dangerous. But regardless, I mean, an 11-4 half going to 15-15. Not great performance on this side from Heinz, but let's see how it works out in the long run. Because, again, it's not over yet.
No, it is certainly not. And now we head into overtime. This is where it really kicks off for these teams. And actually, double AWP coming out from August on the CT side. Just a single AWP in the hands of Stanley for Heinz UK. Let's see what he's going to be able to do with that one. He's against Rattlesnake here. Nearly called him Red Snake. Let's see how they're going to be able to make this one happen.
Yeah, and a potential peak coming out from the CTs. That's going to be Cryptics over towards the checkers area, but Stanley's pushing up. We saw him earlier in the half at least just get absolutely brutalised by Cryptics in this exact position when pulling out his pistol. So hopefully we don't see a repeat of that. He starts his initial push in. Flash going as well. Mole, he's going to be early supporting, trying to get this refrag, but he's full white. He can't do anything. Cryptics finds that first, and Stanley just isolated there. And the flash control here from Vexstar is massive because they are just completely blinding this refragging player. The whole point of that setup was to get that first kill with the AWP, and if you miss, you have Mole instantly to refrag, but not able to. And meanwhile, the frags are going in the favour heavily once again of Vexstar. We do have Fish dropping 1, but as I say that, Robin, he lines up a double. Now it's going to be into a 3v3, but he's tagged up as they try and push him towards his site. All 3 players over towards the A main area, and Fish, he's still alive, peeks out for the first, Flash as well to follow. The nade comes in, but barely any damage touched by him. He peeks out again, still not hitting these shots. He can't afford to miss these, and he finally takes a first and the second. That's going to be the A hold, and he's going to go for the third, but to no, alas there, Robin gets away with his life, but not for long. Drops Rattlesnake, and now he just has to position himself on top of the box. But no, it's too late. Fish is coming from behind.
Looking the wrong way at the end there, Pish. I mean, you said you've got to hit these shots and immediately lands 2 straight on after. Finding those kills. Finds a 4K for his team there. And shuts down Robin to finish things off, who was so sure that he was in the back corner of the site, but in the end does not find it. And Pish doing fantastic things for August, starting this overtime the way that they would want to.
And again, this is MR3 here, so MR5, sorry. So 3 rounds on either half, and the first of 4 wins. And obviously August, they only need 3 more to cement their first place in the map. As we see Heinz, again, they've gone for the B control so many rounds. Let's see if they at least split into vents again. That'd be nice. They have a bit of a back off mid control, and they're going to be setting up the crisscross smokes there, so they will be coming in from vents most likely. But the issue is, Rom, he's going up close and personal, flashes himself through, gets that information as well, but meanwhile the B push is coming in. Rom, meanwhile, takes the first overall towards the middle area, so that's Heinz's split just completely crushed here from August. And they've got this double stack on the site. This could be dangerous, but Mole just going to be running straight in. His teammate finds the first. Rattlesnake trades things out, but he's still going to go down over towards the site, and now it's a 3v3. T-Sack tagged up here, and these CT's in right and ready position for the retake. Very pushed up already.
Yeah, Robin Nasty managed to find himself too as well. Stanley does get the bomb down, but I think it's too little too late at this point, as he's got to just 1 versus 3. They just flood onto the site. Actually doing some serious work. Finds 2 with his AK, but in the end, with Pish coming in from the backside as well, that's going to be an easy sweep up for him. 2 rounds in the bag for August. They're looking for all 3 of the half if they can. And that will be bad news for Heinz, but to be honest, it'll be a similar thing to what Heinz did to them in the very first half of this game.
I mean, yeah, Heinz got 11-4 in their CT. As long as they can keep the pattern going, we could see unlimited overtimes tonight. But let's not hope for that, as much as that would be funny. The overtime record in a pro game is actually a UK match. I think you casted that.
I didn't cast that one. It was Hossalot and Kyanite, I think it was.
I can't remember. I thought it was you, but it was ages ago anyway. And
yeah.
Yeah, so let's see if we can get that as a second as well. But again, last round of the half, as you mentioned, and utility going to be a little bit more exhausted here already from Heinz, but no map control really just pushed up in A main, very default here setup. And August, they are going to be reaping the benefits of picking up the first 2. Orb in the hand of Fish, they got full kits and nades, and the flash going into A main as well, but no information gained apart from a nice swift bullet to the face from Jenko. It's going to be the man advantage for Heinz, and they definitely need it.
Yeah, they've got to find themselves some kind of advantage because they haven't got any others to work with. Here comes Pish though, and we'll be able to find a nice little shot there. And Pish has been on point right now for August. He's been doing some crazy things. Rom now looking for a trade down mid, but Stanley peeks out and T-Sack chiming in, gets 2 for himself, saves Stanley's life no less. And now, suddenly, there's only 2 CTs remaining. Pish is on the A site, though. He's got his AWP, and he's been doing some ridiculous things in this game. Finds one for himself onto Robin. 2 CTs on this site now. As you see T-Sack scurrying across the map to try and get to his teammates. And Pish quite wisely backs away here for a little bit as he waits for his teammates to arrive.
Yeah, very weary of that forklift position, but Heinz aren't putting any players over towards it, so that's going to be a bit of a mind game here. Pish not expecting that and wasting dear time with the Molotov, just trying to force an imaginary player out from that position. But this boost from Mole, he spots out the first. No kill, but the damage has been found, and T-Sack can actually play this crossfire here, but the bomb not being down for A main means that he needs to reposition instantly. And there we go, Crypt is going to line up the first, but the trade comes back out. Mole, he takes himself 2 kills there, and Heinz, they're going to actually pick up a round on this T side, so they have a little bit of a buffer to work with. But I mean, I don't think there's any point talking about buffers here, because August just came back from 11 to 14 half, 11 to 4 half.
Yeah, at this stage, buffers mean nothing.
No.
But, certainly, one thing we can start to talk about is the fact that both of these teams quite clearly prefer the CT side, and now we're going to see Heinz heading over to that half of the map. Maybe this is their opportunity to actually find themselves a lead in this overtime. But, you know, 2-1, I wouldn't have said that's a far-fetched score. We could well be seeing a second overtime, to be quite honest. But Heinz, if they can kind of pull themselves together a little bit, I feel like their players become a little bit more panicked, a little bit. When they're going for these site executes, it doesn't feel as kind of strategically executed as it was looking earlier on in the day. When we were seeing their retakes, they were like pushing. It was coordinated. They were doing it together. They were being a team. Now we're kind of seeing them pretty much just rushing onto these sites and just getting out-aimed, basically.
Yeah, but Heinz picking up 11 rounds on their first half. Now they just have to basically give away 0 to August, because if they allow 1 round going to August's side, they have to go for a second overtime. So that's just dangerous territory. They need 3 out of 3, and they can't play any funny games here. They have to take it completely seriously, and we will see Vexstar just heading in towards the A side already. A full setup, 5 players here. This is what I would like to see from Heinz's T side, but to no avail, they are going to be doing it. And a bit of mid-aggression as well, which is always nice to see from that one player who's going to be able to split. I think that's Rattlesnake there over the middle. And now Heinz, they are just going to be waiting for this initial push out on towards the site, but Vexstar yet to give it to them.
Yeah, and it's going to be Mole on the A site here. He's the one that's going to have to hold this one off, and Robin supporting him from Catwalk with the AWP and finds one, and this is a good start for Heinz if they want to make it to Comic-Con. This is the kind of play we've got to see coming out from them. Pish suddenly finds himself all alone in the world. Does get a shot there with his Tech 9, so at least finds himself on the scoreboard right now. But Robin rightly dodging down from the site there. Pish actually nearly takes him out with a Tech 9. There was a nice little shot, but not quite enough to finish off that player. And now Pish, slowly but surely, will get flanked here. They know exactly where he is. And also, they know that he's got an AWP, so they do have to be careful.
But I love how they're playing. They just don't care. They're like, plant the bomb if you want. We're going to 4v1 push you. You're screwed. You need to find a kill. He can't go for this bomb plant without finding a kill. Otherwise, there's zero chance of him taking it, because Heinz, they had that communication, they had that teamwork. But he's going to try and commit to it. And this is where the death comes in, because Stanley, he's found himself on the flank. He's going to be ready, but he's not even going to push in, waiting for his team, and it's not going to matter, because T-Sac's finding the headshot instead. And Heinz, they are going to take their first round out of 3 potentials. And really good play from them. Allowing the bomb plant. No need to control any kind of $800 injection that August are going to get. It's not going to affect their buy at all. We are on 10k. So, good play from them, of course, and not throwing anything away, keeping their rifles into the next round. And we know how expensive CT rifles can be as well.
Yep, absolutely. And already, just look at the cash that August have got to work with. If Heinz can find themselves a second round in a row here, that might just be the map sealed for them, unless August, or Vexstar, sorry, find themselves a miracle. But it's not over just yet. They've still got to win this round. They've still got to make this happen for themselves. And you know, the AKs in the hands of these August players, it's always going to be a factor in these games. Jacob trying to find himself a shot here to start things off. No scopes through the smoke, just praying for a connection, but does not land it in the end. And Stanley's going to get caught out by Pish. They've pushed their way onto the site, and now it's going to be down to planting and the retake from Heinz. But this is what Heinz have been doing fantastically throughout the game.
Yeah, but now, August, they've got their foot in the door, and this is where things get dangerous. Having a man advantage and a post plant is going to be great for them, so we need to see a trade come out very quickly behind. They can't afford to give away a round, or they're going to have to go for a second overtime. So here we go. The retake's already on. The bomb's going to be ticking away here. Only a few seconds on the clock as Robin, he starts to find his initial push up in towards the upper area, but with Norb, this is definitely not the best position to be in. Molotov goes up to try and force a player from the back of the site, but it's not going to do anything. He has to go for this fight. Spots out that first flash comes in, tag comes in, but he's not going to quite be able to get the kill. The crossfire is just amazing here from August, and look at that, a flawless round. 4 out of 5 of them are half HP, but they just line up and crossfire straight into CT spawn. Heinz just walking into an absolute death trap.
Yeah, beautiful stuff coming out there from Vexstar. They've found themselves on map point here. And Heinz, 17 on the board. They've got themselves this bit of a disastrous smoke comes through there as well. Robin going to be watching towards mid here, and Pish going to check him, will get shut down. This Swede is not going to allow mid to go anytime soon.
Yeah, so first kill now in the favour of Heinz, allowing them to try and bring this one back again. If August, they take this round, they're securing the first map. If Heinz do, they bring it to another overtime. So a lot on the line here. This is the first of potentially 5, but you're going to want every single round you can get. And Robin smoked out towards the middle. It's not going to be a great smoke though, so he can still peek over towards the upper there if he just jumps on top of the railing, and you will be doing exactly that, just waiting for the right time. As August, they set their initial push over towards mid. Robin Nasty going to be able to find himself a frag over onto T-Sac, and now we see complete map control in the favour of August. They pushed in towards middle, they pushed in towards B, and they may just be going for this take, but there's 3 players right outside of the B site here for Heinz. They've got the perfect setup, the A retake setup, which is going to allow them to have a lot more B control. And look at this, Stan, he's going to be peeking out, finds that first flash, going to allow him to do so, but the Molotov and the spray from Rattlesnake to trade and back out. 3v3, and a nice boost from Yenko, but it's still going to be a dire situation here. Finally drops another, and now August, they have to come back from a deficit, but it's not going to happen. It's all onto Rattlesnake, and that's going to be it. Mole lines him up, shuts him down, and Heinz, they take themselves a second overtime.
Yeah, they certainly do. Here we go. We're going to get some more rounds on the board. I think you might have jinxed it a little bit when you said the world record was in the UK. Let's remember as well,
dear.
This is just the first map, and if the rest of the maps are anything like this, we could be in for a long one, ladies and gentlemen, because neither of these teams are looking at budging.
I'm glad I have nothing on tomorrow, because I've got a feeling we're going to be here all night, Joe.
Yeah, I think you might just be right on that one, Hugo, but here we go. Second overtime, and I mean, looking at how these teams have been playing so far in this map, what is it that needs to change? What can either of these teams do to really find themselves an edge?
Well, I don't think it's Heinz's CT side as much. I think the main issue is August seem to be adapting to the way Heinz is setting up. Every time Heinz shows some kind of weakness towards a site, August take advantage of it. You can see they hit B quite a few rounds in their T-sides at least in pre-overtime as well, and Heinz actually not having very heavy B control until that last round there, which actually was a round they were able to secure. You could see they were playing for the A retake, one player over towards Carl with a kit, and everyone else set up with maybe a double mid, double B, or a triple B, one mid, and it's a good setup at least to hold down the B control, but August seem to just be exploiting the lack of B control that Heinz are showing, and that's one thing I feel like is pretty detrimental here for the CT side, and they need to finally reconcile that, and they need to reconsider their CT side setup. Now they've got 2 players pushed up in checkers, and Stanley's going to be one of them, just spraying these players down as they push right in. And now August, they think they've taken advantage, but Heinz, they are going to be completely aware of what they want to perform here, and it's going to work out massively for them. Already 2 kills, but August are bringing it back now. A 3 versus 2 is going to be on the cards.
It certainly is. We've still got 3 CTs remaining though. Heinz certainly with the advantage on this one, but the bomb site is in the control of August right now. Cryptics and Pish. And Pishilla, he has been absolutely dominant in this game when it comes to that ult. We've seen him land so many beautiful shots. Cryptics, I feel like less so far today. We've not really seen him do anything absolutely crazy, and Mole will shut him down. And now Pish finds himself all alone. He should go down fairly simply, and will do so to the likes of Robin's P250. That is Heinz starting this overtime off correctly here, but if this map is anything to go off, I feel like Heinz, they have to win these CT rounds.
Yeah, it's important. They've been struggling a little bit on their tier. I think it's an understatement of the day as well. And again, as you said, kicking it off with a nice 19-18 here. Let's see if they can capitalise on it and keep it going here. They want to be able to at least force August down into the eco for the final round, but the bomb plant's going to disallow that, at least giving them a bit of a cash injection of $800. And now August setting up for a fast A take, and I like this. The switch up in pace, instead of just going for a slow methodical take, they're just going to rush right in towards A here as we see this push come in.
Here we go, they're trying to make things happen. It's going to be Rom that finds one to kick things off. The bomb will be planted but gets shut down. T-Sac on the site, making things happen for the squad of Heinz. 3 CTs remaining. They all start to push in. They're going to be able to shut down that player. Robin on the scene though, and Rattlesnake finds himself all on his own. Can Robin find himself a hat-trick on this one? In fact, Rattlesnake snaps to the head of Jenko, but Stanley shuts him down in the end. Heinz, they take a 20th round. They're not going down without a fight, and they're looking to maybe get their 3rd point in this round, because there's not that much cash for August.
Exactly what I was talking about. They need to get themselves 2 in a row so they can force August down to this low buy. And without a bomb plant, it's going to be looking good, at least for the Heinz side, because August, they've substituted these rifles for 2 pistols now, having a little bit of an economical crisis, I guess you could say, and a lack of utility as well on most of the players. Cryptic's going to be able to at least harbour the nades for his team. Oh, the Molotov towards Vexstar could be perfect here as August. They put a little bit of pressure on towards mid, but still going to be able to split their way in towards the vents in checkers, but they're not going to make it down without 3 players getting heavily burnt alive. And now this is just going to be a complete spray down here from Heinz. The last 2 August players make that now 1, just going to be executed. There's nothing we can see here from Robin Nasty. There's too many CTs in the area, and they've got their sat-nav trained right on him. Yeah. Heinz, they take it 21-18 and 1 off the map win.
Yeah, I mean, I put the camera in the eyes of Stanley there because I thought they were going to push in and he was in the perfect spot. The rest of the squad don't even let them onto the site. No chance of that happening. But we are going to be just jumping onto camera for a second while we get into the second half of this overtime. And we'll see whether August are going to be able to put on a similar performance on their CT side here on the second overtime.
I hate to ask this. I really hate to ask this, but what is your prediction, at least for this next half of overtime? Do you think August can bring it back, or is it going to be a crushing defeat from them?
I've got to say, I think a lot of this is just going to be down to that first round. If August can win that first round, we could easily go to another overtime. It's been very clear that both these teams favour the CT side of Cash. And on the other side of that, Heinz, we've seen them. They're more than willing to go for very aggressive pushes here. They're more than willing to just kind of barrage onto that B site. Yeah. However, that's kind of the theme, right? It's specifically that B site. So if August can read that, you know, I think there maybe could be another round coming on through. But here we go. It's going to be Heinz on the offensive here, just going for a default across the map.
Yep, just allowing August to get a little bit aggressive here. They don't need to go for any fast kind of peaks because they know that they've got this huge round advantage going into this half. as you said, both teams favouring the CT side, so may get a bit of a chance for August to bring things back. And that first kill going to favour them greatly. Fish are going to push into the squeaky area and find Robin. And meanwhile, Jenko's already tagged down from the AWP in mid. So good damage across the board here from the August side to start off the round. And Heinz, they're going to be fighting from the back foot here, fighting an uphill battle instead. And we will see Stan trying to trade things out over towards middle, but actually just harbouring his thoughts for a second and holding back, allowing Heinz to get into the correct position for this A take, and Stanley late splitting towards mid is all I can really imagine from this setup.
Yeah, I think that might be the call that comes out here, is taking this super slowly. They do not want to risk anything. And actually Stanley heading over towards the B side, I think just waiting. He's going to hope to shut someone down on the rotate and will be able to find the headshot onto Rom. Fantastic news for Heinz as they even up the scoreline, and now I think the push might be about to begin over towards this 8 site. We've already got 2 CTs here, but one of them is already going to be shut down. Robin Nasty is going to be the first one to drop, and it's down to Pish. He's been fantastic this game, but not fantastic in this round. Gets shut down himself. Mole, while on 4 HP, gets himself 2 kills. Now Cryptix arrives on the scene, but he's got to be careful. He's got to wait for his other teammate, but Stanley doesn't allow him entry onto the site. He's going to be barred from this one. And now Stanley arrives on the scene from runway, and actually nice little bit of manoeuvring coming out from Cryptix, gets into the smoke, but it's not enough. Stanley shuts him down, and there we have it. It is going to be Heinz UK managing to take this map. It took them 2 overtimes, but a win is a win at the end of the day.
Yeah, and not giving up a single round in that second overtime as well. I think Heinz are just playing with us. You know, they got the 11-4. They were like, yeah, no, we're going to clear it out, don't worry. And they're like, actually, let's put a bit of a show for the viewers. They choked a few rounds, maybe a half, maybe an overtime, and then finished out in style in the last with 0 round losses. So a really good game for Heinz. A little too close for comfort at times, though. It was looking at one point when we were